Hello students, welcome to your social studies class. Every day we come across the word government in newspapers, on radios, the social media, on television channels, etc. What is the meaning of this word government? Or what role does it play in our lives? So students, today we'll start with a new chapter of civics. That is chapter 24, the forms of government. So let's get started. All of us are social beings. We depend on each other for our needs. Also, when people of different groups live together, there are chances of their getting into conflicts. And to settle those conflicts, we need an organization. This job is done by a government. The government is the decision-making body in a country. It makes laws, it enforces them and ensures order in the society. The smooth functioning of any unit of a society, whether small or large, requires a body or group of people who can make and implement various rules and principles that would help the unit to function in an organized manner. The government is the organization or agency through which a political system exercises its authority, regulates public policy, and administers its subjects.
You've heard people talk about government and politics before, but what does that mean? Let's back up a bit. First, what is a country? You can think of many examples of countries: the United States, Canada, and Japan are just three among many countries. A country has borders that define what land is part of the country. The people in a country usually have many things in common, which means they do things mostly the same way. Within a country, people usually speak a common language, a language like English or Chinese, but not always, and there are many more languages. They usually have a common religion, a religion like Christianity or Islam, but not always, and there are many more religions. We say the people of a country make up the society of that country. People in a society generally want to help each other and cooperate. But not always. Some people, some of the time, commit crime. They hurt and rob and cheat others. And even very nice people can get into disputes or disagreements that are very hard to settle. A whole society, or people of a country, can face invasion, where other people come in and fight to take over the country. Societies face other problems. For example, when many people in a society are poor, in poverty, or need education to learn things like reading, basic math, and how the world works. Crime, disputes, poverty, and poor education are social problems. To solve such problems, and problems for the whole country like war, some people are given authority. Society agrees to let people in authority punish criminals, resolve disputes, fight wars, and take the people's money, called taxes, to pay for these things and to fight other social problems. You have heard the word power. Authority means power over people. When I was a child, I was very puzzled by words such as government and politics. but now maybe I can help you understand. The people with power, the people given authority over other people, are who we mean by a government. And politics is everything we do to get the power of government or to help others get that power.
Now, why is government necessary? Now, imagine a very busy road without traffic rules or traffic police. Cars, buses, trucks, scooters, and cycles would be going in all possible directions. People would be walking and running all over the places. There would be complex chaos and confusion. There could be serious accidents as well. Now imagine a school without a principal, without teachers and other officials to take out various responsibilities. Do you think the school would function at all? In every situation in life where there are groups of people involved, we need someone to take regulations, to take charge and put practice certain rules and regulations. Whether it is a restaurant, a movie hall, library, bus stop or hospitals, there are certain rules that help people to live and work in an organized manner. We follow certain rules even at home. We play, study, have our meals or watch television at fixed times, which have been set for all the family members. Without rules, there would be complete disorder. What are laws? The government has the power to make and enforce laws. Laws are a system of rules and guidelines enforced in a country. Laws are meant for safety and welfare of the people. To implement and enforce laws, there are many institutions such as police, judiciary, the courts, etc. The citizens of the country are expected to follow these laws, and those who violate the laws made by the government are punished. For example, according to law, all persons driving a motor vehicle must have a license. Any person caught driving a vehicle without a license can either be jailed or fined. Now, why do we need these laws? Laws are implemented, first of all, for the smooth functioning and orderly life. Second, to ensure equality and fairness in society. For instance, if a person feels he is debarred from a job because of his religion or caste, she may approach the court and fight for his or her rights. Third, to avoid chaos and maintain order. Fourth, in the absence of laws, there will be inequality in society as the rich, the influential and the powerful get their way out. Now, what are the functions of government? The government performs various functions. It makes laws and ensures that they are followed. It provides security to the people by defending them from the attacks by foreigners. The government is also responsible for maintaining law and order in the country through the police, the courts of law, etc. The government also looks after the all-round welfare of the people. It builds roads, bridges, dams, it runs schools, hospitals, railways and the postal services. During natural calamities like earthquakes, floods, etc., it carries out relief work and help people to rebuild their lives. In cases of drought or poor rainfall leading to poor production of crops, it provides aid to the affected farmers. To perform all these functions, government needs money. These money come from the taxes the government collects from various people. Although the list of functions or responsibilities of government is exhaustive and endless, let's list down few important responsibilities or functions of government. The government maintains law and order. They develop the infrastructure. It provides healthcare and sanitation facilities. Government provides schools, postal and railway services. They control the price of commodities. They protect the boundaries of the country. Government maintains peaceful relations with other countries. They make plans for development. They help people during natural calamities or disasters. Government settle disputes of the people. Hence, in total, the government work for overall welfare of the people.
Consenting to live under a government means giving up some degree of freedom, but citizens' lives are improved by what government offers them. First, government keeps order. This means passing laws to keep people safe, having a police force to deter and investigate crimes, and managing courts to administer justice. Second, government manages foreign relations. This means making international agreements, handling diplomatic situations to reduce conflicts with other countries, and having a military force to provide security. Third, government provides services. This includes schools, libraries, fire departments, parks, roads, bridges, garbage collection, recycling programs, water and sewage systems, food inspections, building inspections, mail service, and many others. In addition, government serves people in need with programs like Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, housing assistance, and food stamps. Fourth, government creates public policies to avoid or manage problems. Examples of this function include environmental laws to protect resources and reduce pollution, economic policies to prevent a recession, and zoning regulations to prevent a factory from moving into a housing neighborhood. Essentially, government creates a direction for society to deal with the reality that there are many issues in which the actions of an individual can cause massive problems that are too large for others to overcome. For example, Carla and all of her neighbors can be as environmentally responsible as possible to maintain clean air for their kids, but pollution from Henry's factory will still ruin the air for everyone. Therefore, the government will create a public policy that protects people's interest in having clean air. Overall, government performs numerous functions in order to improve the quality of life for citizens.
As you already know, a government's responsibility towards its people is endless. From forming effective policies to building civic amenities, a government needs to ensure that it's all done effectively so that people can make the most of it. And therefore, depending on the size and population of a country, the government works at different levels. The first level is the central level or national level. This is the topmost level of the government. The central government looks after the topics of national interest. The Prime Minister is the head of the central government. The central government operates from the national capital, that is New Delhi. The second is the state level. Different states have their own level of government. The state government is headed by the chief minister of that particular state. The state government mainly looks after the state subjects. The third is the local level. The local government works at district and village level. At the district level, the governance is in the hands of government officials who are known as civil servants. The government officials look after the implementation of various programs at district level. The village level, the government is headed by the serpent. The government at the village level is also called as Gram Panchayat. It looks after the topics of local interest.
Federalism is a system in which the governmental power is divided between a central authority and its various constituent units. Under the federal system, there are two or more tiers or levels of government. The central government, the state government, and as an exception in India, a third tier or local self-government. However, in federalism, each tier has its own jurisdiction in specific matters of legislation, taxation, and administration. Every level is free in its own way to impose taxes and raise funds through remunerative enterprises. However, the sources of revenue for each tier are also clearly specified.
Organs of government. To execute the functions of government smoothly, the entire government is divided into three organs, that is, legislature, executive body, and the judiciary system. The first is the legislature. To govern a country efficiently, we need policies and laws. The function of legislative is to form these policies and make laws that will govern the nation. The Union Parliament is chiefly concerned with this function. Parliament is a body of legislatively elected members who form a part of the government. A country like India is run by its parliament. In India, there are two houses of parliament. They are houses of states, that is the Rajya Sabha, and the houses of people, that is the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the upper house, while the Lok Sabha is the lower house. People directly elect the members of the Lok Sabha. On the other hand, indirect elections choose the members of Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha is considered to be more powerful compared to Rajya Sabha. This is because Lok Sabha is directly elected by and is answerable to the people. However, Rajya Sabha has some special powers to look after the interest of the states or regions. Together, these houses ensure that legislative functions of the government are executed properly by passing relevant laws and making citizens friendly policies. The second organ of the government is executive body. Once the laws have been duly made and sanctioned, the duty of implementation falls on the executive body. The state government and other relevant bodies are responsible for this function. Legislative and executive functions are interdependent functions of the Parliament. Execution of laws and policies are ensured by the office of the executive. These offices are that of Prime Minister and his cabinet at the central level. At an administrative level, the civil servants have the responsibility by ensuring that all policies introduced by the government are duly implemented and its benefits reaches to the people. The third organ of the government is the judiciary system. Once the rules have been made and compensation for breaking them established, it becomes imperative that there is a body which monitors proper adherence to these rules. Judiciary ensures that those who do not follow the rules are duly punished. It also acts as a conflict resolver for the government. In order to ensure justice and fairness, the judiciary has been made independent of the other two functions. Thus, a court has the authority to try members of parliament, members of executive, and the citizens of the country if it finds them guilty of any misdeed. Thus, we may say that while the legislative makes the law, the executive implements the law, the judiciary upholds the law. All three bodies of the Union Parliament have a key role to play in the smooth functioning of the government.
India has a central government called the Union or Federal Government. The functions of the government are divided into three branches: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The legislature makes the laws, the executive enforces the laws, and the judiciary defines and interprets the laws. The Union Legislature of India is called as the Parliament. It makes laws for the country and ensures that the government in power is responsible to the smooth functioning of democracy.
Parliament. Every day we hear about the Parliament somewhere or the other, in TV channels, newspapers, from our parents, etc. But what is Parliament? The Parliament is a super legislative body in the Indian government. Legislative body, what is that? The legislative body is a group of people who make laws for the country. But how is the Parliament related to our life? Government and its ministry make decisions on our behalf about various things which are a part of our life, like transport, our education, healthcare, food, and even sports. But the Parliament is bigger and the government is a part of it. Look, the Parliament consists of the President of India and two houses, namely the upper house, which is the Rajya Sabha or the Council of States, and the lower house, which is the Lok Sabha or the House of People. While on the other hand, the government is formed by the party who gets more than half the seats and gets majority votes after the general election of Lok Sabha. Members of both these houses are called members of the Parliament or MPs. So what does the Parliament do exactly? The Parliament checks to see if the government is doing a good job or not, and if they are not, they can raise a question against it. We elect the members of the Lok Sabha directly through general elections and the members of the Rajya Sabha indirectly through state legislative assembly.
Executive consists of the President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, his Council of Ministers, and the Attorney General of India. The President is the head of the Indian Union. He or she is the first citizen of India. He or she acts as the symbol of solidarity, unity, and integrity of the nation. The President is not elected directly by the citizens. All the members of the Parliament, MPs, and the members of state legislative assemblies, MLAs, elect the President. A person who is a citizen of India and has completed 35 years of age can contest to the presidential elections. All major appointments such as the Chief Justice of India, the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts, the governors, the election commissioners, and ambassadors to other countries are appointed by the President. The Vice President acts on behalf of the President when the position of the President is vacant or he is unable to perform his duties. The Indian judiciary comprises the Supreme Court at the apex, followed by the High Courts in different states and the subordinate courts. The Supreme Court, the High Courts and the subordinate courts are all linked to each other. Hence, the judicial system is also known as an integrated judicial system. The judiciary is an independent organ. The Supreme Court is the highest court in India. It is the guardian of the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court of India is located at New Delhi. The Supreme Court comprises the Chief Justice and a maximum of 30 other judges. The Supreme Court hears and gives rulings on both civil and criminal cases. The High Court is the highest court in the state. Each High Court in India has the jurisdiction of one or more state and union territory. Presently, there are 24 High Courts in India. Of these, 3 High Courts have control over more than one state. A High Court consists of a Chief Justice and other judges. The High Court deals with cases such as those concerning the fundamental rights of citizens, election petitions, and other civil and criminal cases.
Students, that's all for the day. We'll discuss the remaining portion of the chapter in our next class.